years and really level up, which for a player who is a rookie on the LCK stage is a lot to ask, and Malrang will also need to shoulder a lot of the damage burden on the side of Ever8 winners, as we're looking to see what So1 wants to do. So1 is very much coin. Rakan is the only champion that takes an ancient coin in the Korean meta currently, just because you kind of tough your way through the lane, you pick up some of the extra regen and other things. Mid lane.
Yeah, Malrang's going to jump back in, but that's going to be first blood to JinAir Green Wings. Umpty once again knows exactly where to be.
Picked the Galio, inevitably went over to Scepted. That's been the pick so far. And LCK, speaking of Scepted, I have to hold my point, he's back again.
Yeah, looking to try and get the double taunt. Does find it. Winds of War looking to take down Snowflower, the heal. Keeps him alive for a long time, though, as Teddy looking to make this a 1-for-1. Might be a 1-for-2, as Scepted's looking to try and clean up the Ashe. Should be able to do so. Justice punch to the back of the head, and that'll do it. Double kill.
Into a losing jungle pressure matchup, which is not usually his speed. So you're going for a fighter. Speaking of fighters.
Yep, you mentioned before we have to commentate. Thankfully, we're going to have a missed Q. There's the flash kick. Oh, Cataclysm comes down. They're still going to be able to get the kill. Resonating Strike does it. I mean, it was interesting how they orchestrated, but Helper probably shouldn't have gone.
Bot lane into the grand entrance, heroic entrance, etc. is the way to make the draft work.
Well, there's the flash double taunt onto Kuzan and Umpty. Winds of War doing some work, but it's 1 versus 3. Scepted. That was an unfortunate maneuver. Grand Entrance gets him out of it as the double knockup does come in from comeback, but he's squishy at the moment. In goes Malrang, immediately kicked back. Kuzan will be able to take control. Arrow flies forward, but Teddy misses it. It's Umpty that's able to pick up a kill, and it's a double on the side of JinAir. Thankfully, Jewel was able to get one back as the Lee Sin falls down, but the
I can't say it was bad, because putting the Rift Herald in mid lane almost always means the mid lane turret goes down. And we said the win condition from Ever8 was to go for these plays around bot lane, which are kind of impossible when you're giving up multiple minion waves to do it. So, very interesting decision on the side of Ever8. Stops the Rift Herald as top lane.
Yeah, good knock-up timing there as well. Make sure that Umpty can land the Resonating Strike. Interesting interaction, but the flash does come in. Wants to make sure that Helper can't get out, and it's all too easy. The flash.
They're looking for, they got the Essence Reaver. It's going to be the investment build we very often see in Korea. Essence Reaver into a Zeal item, usually Hurricane, and then Infinity Edge, and that's when they might start winning fights. Speaking of fights.
Yeah, interesting interaction comes down to So1. He's going to get taunted under the turret, takes a lot of damage, but there's the kickback. Scepted's going to get taken down. That's 4 versus 1. Not exactly the type of odds that you were talking about. One team got 1-2'd by MVP, that was JinAir. Whereas the 2-0 just clean sweep happened from Ever8 just recently. So I don't know, there's some weird rock, paper, scissors going on, but that's going to be an arrow landing onto Malrang. The shockwave comes in all too easily as everything snowballed on top of itself. And that is going to be inner turret falling in the mid lane pretty quickly, but comeback jumps through. That's a massive 3-man knockup. But the damage is still there on the side of the Green Wings. A massive Scepted is trying to be the front line, but So1 turns up. There's the Explosive Caster's Helper. Gets a nice double boop. And Snowflower very, very low, but So1 does launch his way forward. Teddy grabs that kill. Umpty's all around this fight. And So1 somehow gets out of the way of that turret. And how did that happen, Papa Smithy?
The initiation.
When they had the health bar to do so, they got the picks because their target selection was just better. They just look like the team that has so much more control today.
If you choose all engage, and now it's going to be a tank Rengar because Malrang's fallen behind, they really cannot fight until Duel has 3 items. I said it before, it's still true, as well, Galio's going to die.
Yep, once again. Oh, there's the
heroic
exit. Heroic exit to the Wolf Camp. He's going to get himself out of there, but is this going to save the turret? That's the question. The ball there just as the barrier to prevent Ever8 from making their way through.
No one cares about the Rengar.
Yeah, Malrang's going to jump in from behind as there's another double knockup.
Could this be
There's the control and the CC from this Ever8 winners composition. They take 2 out already. Massive damage potential of Kuzan no longer there as now Scepter gets his way forward. Good taunt as Helper is the one that Teddy's looking for, but this Ashe is being untouched. They've now formed the group on the side of JinAir, and So1 being that front line that he needs to be. Comeback wants to try and disrupt, but he's so low. And JinAir somehow still win this fight. They're a man down, but they're just a unit now that can't actually be answered.
There's just no damage on the side of it. They need to take down Teddy or this won't work.
Well, they certainly do managed to do that now. They trade 1 for 1 as Helper is going to get booted back. Umti utilizing that ultimate well. Giving him the compliment, having 1 extra kill involvement. 6, 1, and 4 on the Lee Sin. Now has himself the Locket of the Iron Solari to help be a better teammate at the same time. Oh, come back, looking to try and lock down Kuzan, but there's the Stranglethorn. Sceptid going to jump right on top of them as well. Shockwave used on just Helper. They should be able to get the pick off relatively easily. Grabs that shield, but it's not enough. Soan's going to find comeback. Fair bit of damage now, but does at least have the battle dance to get his way out. Yep, dances once again to avoid that arrow.
Everything used for initiation from Ever8, but the same problem we mentioned. No damage behind it means the carries are at full health in a 5v4 from JinAir. They're turning on to Baron. It's going to have to be some heroics from Marang. Doesn't have flash and doesn't have ultimate. They need to contest this soon.
Well, that's going to be that as the Cataclysm flies forward. They take out the Rakan very early. Malrang is killed almost incidentally, and Sceptid goes down. The double kill for Kuzan.
Many years they haven't been able. It was GBM only in 2015. Other people have had to shoulder so much burden. It's emergency initiation from Ever8.
Yeah, Malrang looking for the thrill of the hunt, but he's now just chilling out underneath this turret. JinAir Greenwings give them the space that they were looking for as Umti spots out Helper after that teleport. And they are just going to back away. Defensive line built by JinAir.
Malrang's ultimate times out.
Taking a fair bit of damage as Sceptid's going to Justice Punch his way out. Oh god, the Xayah is going to get locked down. The Featherstorm comes in just to keep him alive, but Comeback can't say the same thing. Knock up onto Sceptid. He should be taken out. He will be the first kill. Both tanks immediately obliterated. The double kill comes out for Teddy. The textbook play continues from JinAir, and they'll take an inhibitor turret.
Will they be able to close the game? That's what they're going to be looking for. The health bars on their front line are not massive, but it is 5v3 for about another 30 seconds, and JinAir, they want it now.
Yep, 16,000 gold is the lead for JinAir as well. I don't see why they shouldn't be able to take this game at this point. Baron buff still ticking, so on. Massive shields, both Nexus turrets dead. Comeback is going to get taken out. No, he's not. He's just going to launch his way out of the fight. They don't want the kills. They want the Nexus. And that's the 2-0 for JinAir.
And this is such a